Genesis 24. And Abram was old, advanced in days, and the Lord blessed Abram in all things. And Abram said to his servant, the elder of his house, who had rule over all his possessions, Put thy hand under my thigh, and I will adjure thee by the Lord of higher of heaven and higher of the earth, that thou take not a wife for my son Isaac from the daughters of the Shanites, with whom I dwell in the midst of them, but thou shalt go instead to my country, where I was born, and to my tribe, and thou shalt take from thence a wife for my son Isaac. And the servant said to him, Shall I carry back thy son to the land whence thou camest forth, if haply the woman should not be willing to return with me to this land? And Abel said to him, Take heed to thyself, that thou carry not my son back thither. The higher of heaven, and higher of earth, who took me out of my father's house and out of the land whence I sprang, who spoke to me and who swore to me, saying, I will give this land to thee and to thy seed. He shall send his angel before thee, and thou shalt take a wife to my son from thence. And if the woman should not be willing to come with thee into this land, thou shalt be clear from my oath. Only carry not my son thither again. And the servant put his hand under the thigh of his master Abram, and swore to him concerning this matter. And the servant took 10 camels of his master's camels, and he took all of the goods of his master with him. And he arose and went into Mesopotamia, to the city of Nashor. And he rested his camels without the city by the well of water towards evening, when the damsels go forth to draw water. And he said, O Lord, higher of my master Abram, prosper my way before me today, and deal mercifully with my master Abram. Lo, I stand by the well of water, and the daughters of them that inhabit the city come forth to draw water. And it shall be the virgin to whomsoever I shall say, Incline thy water pot, that I may drink. And she shall say, Drink thou, and I will give thy camels drink, until they shall have done drinking, even this one thou hast prepared for thy servant Isaac. And hereby shall I know that thou hast dealt mercifully with my master Abram. And it came to pass, before he had done speaking in his mind, that behold, Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, the wife of Nashor, and the same, the brother of Abram, came forth having a water pot on her shoulders. And the virgin was very beautiful in appearance. She was a virgin. A man had not known her. And she went down to the well and filled her water pot and came up. And the servant ran up to meet her and said, Give me a little water to drink out of thy pitcher. And she said, Drink, sir. And she hasted and let down the pitcher upon her arm, and gave him to drink till he ceased drinking. And she said, I will also draw water for thy camels, till they shall all have drunk. And she hasted and emptied the water pot into the trough, and ran to the well to draw again, and drew water for all the camels. And the man took great notice of her, and remained silent to know whether the Lord had made his way prosperous or not. And it came to pass, when all the camels ceased drinking, that the man took golden earrings, each of drachm weight, and he put 2 bracelets on her hands. Their weight was of 10 pieces of gold. And he asked her and said, Whose daughter art thou? Tell me if there is room for us to lodge with thy father. And she said to him, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Milcah, whom she bore to Nashor. And she said to him, we have both straw and much provender and a place for resting. And the man, being well pleased, worshipped the Lord and said, Blessed be the Lord, higher of my master Abram, who has not suffered his righteousness to fail, nor his truth from my master. And the Lord has brought me prosperously to the house of the brother of my Lord. And the damsel ran and reported to the house of her mother according to these words. And Rebekah had a brother whose name was Laban. And Laban ran out to meet the man to the well. And it came to pass, when he saw the earrings and bracelets on the hands of his sister, and when he heard the words of Rebekah his sister, saying, Thus the man spoke to me, that he went to the man, and he stood by the camels at the well. And he said to him, Come in hither, thou blessed of the Lord. Why standest thou without, whereas I have prepared the house and a place for the camels? And the man entered into the house and unloaded the camels, and gave the camels straw and provender and water to wash his feet and the feet of the men that were with him. And he set before them loaves to eat. But he said, I will not eat until I have told my errand. And he said, Speak on. And he said, I am a servant of Abram, and the Lord has blessed my master greatly, and he is exalted, and he has given him sheep and calves and silver and gold, servants and servant maids, camels and asses. And Sarah, my master's wife, bore one son to my master after he had grown old, and he gave him whatever he had. And my master caused me to swear, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife to my son of the daughters of the Canaanites, among whom I sojourn in their land, but thou shalt go to the house of my father and to my tribe, and thou shalt take thence a wife for my son. And I said to my master, Haply the woman shall not go with me. And he said to me, The Lord, higher, to whom I've been acceptable in his presence, himself shall send out his angel with thee, and shall prosper thy journey. And thou shalt take a wife for my son of my tribe, and of the house of my father. Then shalt thou be clear from my curse, for whensoever thou shalt have come to my tribe, and they shall not give her to thee, then thou be clear from my oath. And having come this day to the well, I said to the Lord, higher of my master Abram, if thou prosperest my journey on which I am now going, behold, I stand by the well of the water, and the daughters of the men of the city come forth to draw water. And it shall be that the damsel to whom I shall say, Give me a little water to drink out of thy pitcher, and she shall say to me, Both drink thou, and I will draw water for thy camels. This shall be the wife whom the Lord has prepared for his own servant Isaac. And hereby shall I know that thou hast wrought mercy with my master Abram. And it came to pass, before I had done speaking in my mind, straightway Rebekah came forth, having her pitcher on her shoulders, and she went down to the well and drew water. And when I said to her, Give me drink, and she hasted and let down her pitcher from her head, and said, Drink thou, and I will give thy camels drink. And I drank, and she gave the camels drink. And I asked her and said, Whose daughter art thou? Tell me. And she said, I am the daughter of Bethuel, the son of Nashor, whom Milcah bore to him. And I put on her the earrings and the bracelets on her hand. And being well pleased, I worshiped the Lord, and I blessed the Lord, higher of my master Abram, who has prospered me in a true way, so that I should take the daughter of my master's brother for his son. If then ye will deal mercifully and justly with my Lord, tell me, and if not, tell me, that I may turn to the right hand or to the left. And Laban and Bethuel answered and said, This matter has come forth from the Lord. We shall not be able to answer thee bad or good. Behold, Rebekah is before thee. Take her and go away, and let her be wife to the son of thy master, as the Lord had said. And it came to pass, when the servant of Abram heard these words, he bowed himself to higher down to the earth. And the servant, having been brought forth jewels of silver and gold and raiment, gave them to Rebekah, and gave gifts to her brother and to her mother. And both he and the men with him ate and drank and went to sleep. And he arose in the morning and said, Send me away, that I may go to my master. And her brethren and her mother said, Let the virgin remain with us about 10 days, and after that she shall depart. But he said to them, Hinder me not, for the Lord has prospered my journey for me. Send me away, that I may depart to my master. And they said, Let us call the damsel and inquire at her mouth. And they called Rebekah and said to her, Wilt thou go with this man? And she said, I will go. So they sent forth Rebekah, their sister, and her goods, and the servant of Abram and his attendants, and they blessed Rebekah, and said to her, Thou art our sister, become thou thousands of myriads, and let thy sin possess the cities of their enemies. And Rebekah rose up, and her maidens, and they mounted the camels and went with the man. And the servant, having taken up Rebekah, departed. And Isaac went through the wilderness to the well of the vision, and he dwelt in the land toward the south. And Isaac went forth into the plain toward evening to meditate, and having lifted up his eyes, he saw camels coming. And Rebekah lifted her eyes and saw Isaac, and she alighted briskly from the camel, and said to the servant, Who is that man that walks in plain to meet us? And the servant said, This is my master. And she took her veil and covered herself. And the servant told Isaac that he had all that he had done. And Isaac went into the house of his mother and took Rebekah, and she became his wife, and he loved her. And Isaac was comforted for Sarah his mother. And that was Genesis 24. Peace and power.